Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something truly special. It's a story all about hope, a story about a miraculous light that can shine in even the darkest places.
You know that feeling when you're in your room at night and all the lights are out? It can get a little spooky, right? Your imagination starts running. Maybe you think there are monsters under the bed, and you pull the covers up real tight. Being alone in the dark can definitely be scary. But you know, that feeling of being lost in the dark isn't just for kids. Grown-ups feel it too. It's a different kind of darkness, though. It's the darkness of worrying about the future, or feeling totally lost, like you're in a tunnel and you just can't see the end.
To really understand this light we're talking about, let's take a trip way back in time, about 2,700 years ago, in a place called ancient Israel. The people there, especially in the areas of Zebulun and Naphtali, were living in a constant state of darkness. Armies were always marching through their land. They were dealing with war and suffering every single day. And honestly, they felt hopeless. They probably wondered if God had just completely forgotten about them.
The Bible actually has a special word for this kind of deep, scary darkness. It's a Hebrew word, tsalmavit. Now, this isn't just your regular lights-off kind of dark. This word means a terrifying, suffocating blackness, the kind of dark you'd feel if you were trapped in a deep pit or a tomb. It's a word for extreme danger, for terror, and for feeling totally alone.
So let's just think for a second. What does that kind of deep darkness, that Salmavet, look like for us today? Maybe for you, it's the pain of failing at something important, or maybe a friendship that broke, or maybe it's just that worried feeling in your stomach that won't go away. We all have those moments, don't we?
But right in the middle of all that darkness and hopelessness, a prophet named Isaiah shared an amazing promise from God. He said that the very same people who were walking through that deep darkness would see a great light, that for those living in that land of deep shadows, a light has gone.
Think about it. If the problem is darkness, what's the solution? It's not a bigger army, it's not more money. The only thing in the entire world that can get rid of darkness is light. It's that simple, but it's also that powerful.
So where did this incredible light come from? Well, the prophecy said it wouldn't be a powerful king or a mighty warrior. The great light would arrive as a baby, a child born for us. And of course, we know that child is Jesus. That's what Christmas is all about. It's the day God sent his own light to shine in our dark world.
And this prophecy gives this baby 4 incredible names. Each one tells us exactly how he pushes back the darkness in our lives. So let's look at the first one, Wonderful Counselor. That basically means he's a miraculous advisor.
Have you ever had a giant tangled mess of string or headphones? It feels impossible to fix. Well, a wonderful counselor is like someone who can take that impossible knot and just perfectly and gently untangle the whole thing. He doesn't just listen to our confusing problems. He actually knows the perfect answer and can miraculously help us solve them.
And that's the promise of the wonderful counselor. When we bring him all our tangled up problems, it's like he's saying to us, "Don't worry, I'll take care of this. I will solve it for you." He brings light to our confusion.
Okay, this second name is amazing because it sounds like it can't be true, but it is. The baby is called Mighty God. Isn't that wild? To think of a tiny baby being called Mighty God. But this name tells us the incredible truth about who Jesus really is. So, who's the most powerful superhero you can think of? Well, Jesus is way more powerful than all of them put together because he's the one who created everything. He's the hero who can stop a giant storm with just one word, and he can defeat the enemies that no other hero can, our biggest fears, our mistakes, and even death itself.
So when life feels like a big battle and we feel small and weak, Jesus is the mighty God who steps in. He is the warrior who actually fights for us. He takes on the battles that are just too big for us.
All right, the next name is one that brings so much comfort. Jesus is called the Everlasting Father. This name is all about his deep, loving, and protective care for every single one of us. We all love our parents, right? But even the very best moms and dads in the world aren't perfect, and they can't be with us forever. But Jesus is different. He's the Everlasting Father. His love is perfect, it never ever fails, and he promises to always be with us. He never leaves, even when we feel completely alone.
And that is his promise. With Jesus, you are never an orphan. You have a Father whose love lasts forever, who promises to be with you right up to the very end.
How amazing is that?
And that brings us to the fourth and final name, the Prince of Peace. I mean, just look at our world. It's so full of fighting, isn't it? There are big fights between countries and small fights between friends. Sometimes our own hearts can feel like a big stormy fight. Well, Jesus came to bring peace to all of that.
The Bible gives us this beautiful picture of what his peace looks like. Just try to imagine this. A world where wolves and lambs hang out together, and a little toddler can play right next to a cobra's nest and be totally safe. This isn't just about no more fighting. This is a deep healing, where everything is made right and lives together in perfect harmony.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. A world where wolves and lambs are friends? That sounds like a fairy tale. Is that really possible? I get it. It sounds almost too good to be true. How could that ever happen in our world?
Well, think about the winter solstice. It's the day of the year with the longest, darkest night. But what happens the very next day? The light starts to come back. The days start getting longer again. That moment of deepest darkness is the turning point. It's the same way with Jesus. His arrival is a guarantee that even in the deepest, darkest moments, the light is coming back. So how is this impossible promise actually going to happen? It's not because we try really, really hard. The Bible tells us the secret. It says, the zeal of the Lord Almighty will accomplish this. Zeal is like a passionate, fiery, unstoppable energy. It's God's own passionate love for you and me that makes this all possible.
So, this is the real gift of Christmas. When you're confused, Jesus gives you wisdom as your wonderful counselor. When you feel weak, he gives you strength as your mighty God. When you're lonely, he's your everlasting Father. And when your heart is troubled, he's your Prince of Peace. He is the light for every single dark part of our lives.
So, if Jesus is this wonderful, mighty, loving, and peaceful King, it really leads to one last question we can all ask ourselves. Who is sitting on the throne of your heart? Because when we invite this miraculous light, this Prince of Peace, to be the King of our lives, his light starts to shine, and the darkness has to go. And that is the true miracle of Christmas.